This is going to be a hard one for me to do, because it's going to make me have emotions, and I don't like them. I don't like having them, you know? But it's time we had a serious discussion about the R word. I want to start off by telling you about a friend I had when I was a kid named Brandon. He had Down syndrome. He loved the radio and the Weather Channel. If you ever wanted to know the latest weather reports, all you had to do was ask him, and he would just spit it off the top of his head. I never once in my life saw the kid without a smile on his face. He used to cock his wrist back and shake his hand from left to right by twisting his wrist all the time, like real fast. It was like a tick or something that he had. Everyone in school just loved the kid, and he was like our class mascot. You know, if the kid was running, everyone was cheering for him. If anyone picked on him, well, no one dared pick on Brandon. I think the whole class would have went to war over the kid. When he would drop his pants to the ground to use a urinal, some of the boys would chuckle, but they wouldn't laugh at Brandon. No one fucked with Brandon. In about 7th grade, I moved away from that town. And when I returned at 16 years old, I'd already been through a lot. I'd been to 3 or 4 other schools since I left a few years prior, lived through the chaos of an abusive stepfather, learned how to fight, learned how to flirt, but there was no Brandon. And at the time, I didn't even notice his absence. I guess I was just too busy showing off my new skills, being a typical teenage boy, being a party kid that would still outperform my peers academically. I think I was in my early 20s when it hit me that I just never knew what happened to the kid. I'm 40 now, and I just found out last weekend that he died. I don't know when or how. I was only told that he died a long time ago. It got me thinking about Down syndrome. Why don't you see them around much anymore? And the answer is depressing. Down syndrome people may have been nearly genocided in the name of a woman's right to choose. Now, I've never been a person to talk about abortion. I've never viewed it as moral, but I generally don't try to lecture people about morality as often as I just shit on them and make fun of them for their not so very well thought out takes on various issues. In the U.S., it's estimated that 67 to 85% of unborn children diagnosed with Down syndrome are aborted. And I think it's higher. In Australia, it's 90%. In Europe, it's 88%. In Iceland, it's nearly 100%. There have been millions and millions of people with Downs completely erased from our society. And much like when I failed to notice the absence of Brandon, everyone seems to have failed to notice the near absence of the condition in our society. These are the happiest and most innocent among us, never crying about which president won an election, never feeling sorry for themselves, never trying to lecture you. They can live much longer now, too, if we just give them a chance. I use the word retard. And any time some morally superior narcissist tries to lecture me about the word, this is what I say to them. The left hates the word, because every time someone uses the word, there's a chance that others might start to notice that there aren't any of them around anymore. They have been sacrificed in the name of women's liberation. No one ever says a fucking word after I say that, because they know I'm right.